October always brings the wrap up of the summer crop season. And Josh, where are we with the summer crops this year?
Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're kind of getting towards that back end. We're well out of corn for the most part. We've even heard a lot of folks back east have started to wrap up corn harvest. Yields are all over the board. There are some folks that are really happy with their corn, not as happy with their other crops. There are some folks that are really happy with their beans and milo and not so happy with their corn. So kind of based on when the rain hit is really going to be your telltale. When we had that good rain early, the corn looks better. Where we had a little bit better later rain, some of our milo and our soybean look a little bit better. So I think it's good to just get things out of the field and get them in the bin. So that's a step in the right direction. The good thing is, from most folks that I've talked to, that's probably once again not going to be universal. Our double crop looks better than a lot of our main crops did because we just had those timely rainfalls. Now, we still got a lot of time on them, and some of them are quite a bit out, and these really hot conditions and how dry we've been in the last several weeks is probably going to start walking those backwards. So we need a rain to finish out those double crops. I know a lot of folks that are picking cotton and cutting those later beans probably don't want a rain. Our wheat guys and our double crop folks are really needing a rain right now, and that's kind of where we're sitting.
Talking about wheat, you're actually doing some studies out here about some of the cover crops.
Yeah, so we've been looking at cover crops for several years, and one of the almost tried and true benefits that we've seen year in and year out. We talk about cover crops a lot. Of some years it has a yield benefit, some years it doesn't, maybe what system you're in. The one thing we have seen is going a winter cover crop into our summer crops, we have seen a very consistent weed management benefit. Something that we've been able to kind of identify is some of our small grain and small grain mixes are really good at controlling weeds going into our summer crops, as well as in season in something like a soybean that has those very challenging weeds that we have to manage. Unfortunately, a lot of our recommendations right now for weed management are planting fairly high rate of seed. We're talking about the same as our wheat folks are planting at around 60 pounds, 70 pounds of material seed going out there. For a cover crop standpoint and solely getting to weed management, that's too high. Right. And so we're wanting to look at some of our reduced rates. And so right behind us, we're looking at seeding rates of a wheat small grain mix only, wheat and canola, where wheat is the dominant cover crop, and then a canola wheat where canola is the dominant, to kind of see where our weed management stands. And we're going from 5 pounds of canola and 60 pounds of wheat all the way down to 1 pound of canola, 20 pounds of wheat. So looking at seeing if we can drastically cut the seeding rate of those cover crops and still get that weed management benefit. I know we look out and we say it's kind of weedy. That's the point. Right. We want the stress to occur. That way, this is worst case scenario. No-till into some wheat stubble that has some grassy weeds, some summer weeds still hanging around. Now we pretty much are throwing those cover crops to the fire and say, what can you do? Show me what you can do on the back end, and that's what we're hoping to find here. And at least based on our previous data, it's gonna look good. How good those lower rates do is the real question we have at hand.
You talked about mixing canola and wheat in there. Why did you do that rather than just stay with one grass or a broadleaf?
Well, having the mixes is always good. For one, we never know which one's going to do better to provide us good cover, and cover is what we're predominantly looking for. The other thing is we already have a lot of data showing how beneficial canola as a crop can be. We're potentially getting the benefits of a canola crop into our system and not having actually canola or spending a ton of money on the canola crop. It's not saying canola is not a great crop, but this is maybe that one extra additional use we can use for that really good canola genetics we already have in the region to throw it into some of these cover crop mixes and be highly beneficial.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Josh Lofton, Crop and System Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.